$500,000. That's the price of turning a honeymoon into a funeral.
May 10, 2022, Baru Island. The Colombian Caribbean, a man was lying on a beach chair in the sun, no security detail, no weapon, on his honeymoon. His wife was right beside him. And that same day, she had just told him she was pregnant.
And that's the day they chose to kill him.
Two men arrived on a jet ski. One of them got off, walked up to him, without a word, fired twice. One shot to the face, one to the back, and got back on the jet ski, like he'd just delivered a pizza.
Who was this man?
Marcelo Pecci, anti-corruption prosecutor from Paraguay. The man who put more drug traffickers, money launderers and terror financiers behind bars in South America than anyone else. And when you find out who ordered his death, you'll understand why this case shook governments around the world. Marcelo Pecci was 45 years old, federal prosecutor in Paraguay since 2000, specialized in drug trafficking and money laundering. But he wasn't an office prosecutor. He was the kind of man who personally led operations, who showed up at the raids, who arrested the big fish when nobody else had the guts.
Who did he take down?
In 2018, he arrested two of the biggest Hezbollah financiers in Latin America, Mahmoud Ali Barakat and Nader Mohammed Farhad, operating out of the Triple Frontier, Brazil, Argentina and Paraguay, laundering drug money to finance international terrorism. Pecci personally walked into their offices, seized the documents, and fought for their extradition to the United States.
Hezbollah. In South America.
Laundering money, funding operations, and Pecci was the man who understood that network better than anyone. He also led Operation Ultranza, the largest drug trafficking and money laundering investigation in Paraguayan history. He arrested Ronaldinho Gaucho when the soccer star tried to enter the country on a fake passport. That he was the man organized crime wanted gone more than anyone else.
And he knew that.
He knew. But he believed that on a honeymoon, far from Paraguay, on a paradise island in the Colombian Caribbean, he would be safe. It was the only mistake he ever made.
But the problem wasn't where he was. It was that someone knew exactly where he was. How? His wife posted it on Instagram, with details nobody should have shared. And the killers were monitoring every single post. Sound of wedding bells, fading into ocean waves.
A Paraguayan journalist. The ceremony was in Cartagena, and the honeymoon was on Baru Island, just a few miles away. A luxury resort. Hotel de Cameron. Private beach. White sand. Caribbean Sea. The safest place in the world for a couple in love.
And his wife posted everything on Instagram.
Everything. The hotel. The beach. The name of the island. And in the last post before the assassination, the couple embracing on the sand. In the foreground, baby shoes. She was pregnant. And she had told him that same day.
The day he found out he was going to be a father, he was murdered.
That's exactly right. And the killers used Instagram to track their every move. They knew the hotel. They knew the beach. They knew what time he liked to sit on that beach chair. Because he was over 1,000 miles from Paraguay and thought he could let his guard down.
His wife said he never received threats.
He didn't. Because Pecci's enemies didn't threaten. They calculated. They planned. And they executed. Literally.
And the planning started long before the honeymoon. Days before Pecci arrived at the resort. Two people were already there. Checked in, waiting. A mother and her son. And they weren't there for vacation.
Days before Pecci arrived at Hotel de Cameron, the cartel planted two people there. A mother and her son. Checked in. Counting the days. Reporting Pecci's every move back to the people who ordered the hit.
A mother and son as spies at a honeymoon resort.
Because nobody suspects a mother and son at a Caribbean resort. That's the criminal genius of it. They knew what they were doing. They knew when Pecci woke up, when he went to the beach, where he sat, how long he stayed, And when the two hitmen arrived on that jet ski that morning, nothing was improvised. It was a surgical execution. Calculated. Planned. Paid for.
Paid how much?
$500,000. Colombia's Attorney General confirmed it. Francisco Barbosa said publicly, the organizers of the crime paid $500,000 for the murder. $500,000. On a spreadsheet. Like a business contract.
Who has $500,000 to pay for a murder on a Caribbean island?
That's exactly the right question. And the answer has several layers. Starting with the most obvious one.
If this case already has you hooked, subscribe to the channel. There are a lot more open files.
The first layer had a name well known in Paraguay. Miguel Ángel Enfrangaliano, the Tío Rico, a man Pecci had been investigating for years, who was found not in Paraguay, but in Rio de
Miguel
Janeiro.
Ángel Enfrangaliano, known as Tío Rico, one of Paraguay's biggest drug traffickers, investigated by Pecci for years inside Operation Ultranza. After the assassination, he vanished. Months later he was found. Not in Paraguay. Not in Colombia. In Recreio dos Bandeirantes, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
He was arrested.
Arrested in April 2023 by the Brazilian Federal Police, joint operation with the Rio Civil Police, and he's being investigated in Colombia as one of the masterminds behind Pecci's assassination.
But he didn't act alone.
No, Enfran had connections to the PCC, Primeiro Comando de Capital, the largest criminal organization in Brazil, and the PCC doesn't usually operate outside Brazil. But in Pecci's case, they made an exception.
Why?
Because Pecci was about to destroy something they had spent years building. He was preparing hearings against Waldemar Pereira, the Cacareo, an alleged PCC member being held in Paraguay. If those hearings went ahead, the entire operation would collapse.
So the PCC had the prosecutor killed before the hearings.
That's the theory Colombian police confirmed, but there's a third layer. And this is the one nobody expected to find on a Caribbean island.
There's a name in this case that isn't Paraguayan, isn't Colombian, isn't Brazilian. It's a name you've heard connected to terrorist attacks. And that name was in Paraguay laundering money, until Pecci showed up.
Sebastián Marset, Uruguayan. Years old at the time of the assassination. International trafficker with connections on 4 continents. Investigations point to him as one of the coordinators of Pecci's murder.
Why did Marset want Pecci dead?
Because Pecci was investigating Marset's connections to Paraguayan drug trafficking, and because Marset was difficult to catch.
Difficult how?
Marset was arrested in the United Arab Emirates in 2022 with a Paraguayan passport. FACI, the Uruguayan government, his home country, issued him a new Uruguayan passport while he was sitting in a UAE prison for trafficking.
The Uruguayan government issued a passport to a jailed trafficker.
And with that new passport, he was released and disappeared. The scandal took down Uruguay's interior minister, the foreign affairs minister, 4 other senior government officials, but Marset is still free to this day.
He played soccer.
Paid out of his own pocket to play and wear the number 10 jersey for Club Deportivo Capiata in Paraguay. Used a fake Brazilian identity. Moved through Bolivia during an international manhunt. And is still free. With arrest warrants in multiple countries. Free.
But Marset isn't the last layer either.
He's not. The last layer has a name. A name the entire world knows. Associated with terrorist attacks on 4 continents. And the prosecutor Pecci had dismantled their network in South America. And they don't forget. Before we go further, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Because what comes next is the last thing anyone expected to find on a Caribbean island.
Qasim Mohammed Hijazi, a Brazilian of Lebanese origin arrested in Paraguay, suspected of financing international terrorism, under investigation in the United States, and the name of the organization behind him, only in the final minutes of this episode.
Qasim Mohammed Hijazi, Brazilian, Lebanese origin, arrested in Paraguay in August 2021 by Marcelo Pecci himself, under investigation in the United States for money laundering to finance terrorism. in extradition proceedings to the Americans, and suspected of having ordered or financed Pecci's assassination.
The man Pecci arrested may have ordered his murder.
That's the theory Paraguay's prosecutors and American authorities are investigating. And Hijazi wasn't an ordinary criminal. He was a financial operator. He provided money and infrastructure for international trafficking, and that money was reaching an organization.
Which organization?
An organization you already know, that the entire world knows, associated with terrorist attacks on 4 continents, that operated, laundering money at the triple frontier between Brazil, Argentina and Paraguay, for decades, until Pecci started dismantling their network.
Say the name.
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah. In South America.
Laundering money at the triple frontier, funding international trafficking, using the region as a financial operations base for decades. And Pecci was the prosecutor who hurt them the most. Arrested Barakat, arrested Farhad, identified Hijazi, fought for all of their extraditions to the United States. He was the biggest threat Hezbollah had in South America.
And they sent a jet ski.
They sent a jet ski.
The United States offered $5 million in reward money for information on the case. The FBI, the DEA, and the CIA all ended the investigation. But Marset is still free, Hijazi is still fighting extradition, and Hezbollah is still operating. You want to know how it works? It's simple. You don't do business with the prosecutor. You do business in spite of the prosecutor. And when he starts getting in the way too much, you calculate the cost. $500,000 to remove a problem. For them, that's an operating expense.
An operating expense.
A spreadsheet. Column A, what he costs if he stays alive. Column B, what it costs to remove him. Column B always wins. And the honeymoon was a gift. He was relaxed, no security, in a place he announced himself. They didn't even have to look for him.
And the son.
Born in September 2022, 4 months after his father was murdered, they named him Marcelo Daniel, so he won't forget.
Pecci never met his son.
No, but that boy will grow up knowing who his father was, and what it cost be that man.
What happened after? 5 people were arrested in Colombia. The direct executors and accomplices. 4 confessed. Gabriel Salinas Mendoza, one of the accomplices, was caught in Caracas, Venezuela in December 2022, stopped at a routine police checkpoint.
And the masterminds.
Ince Fran, the Tío Rico, arrested in Rio in 2023, being investigated as a mastermind, but still in legal proceedings. Hijazi, caught in an extradition dispute between Paraguay and the United States, still hasn't faced trial for Pecci's case. Marset, free.
Free.
Arrest warrants in multiple countries. Wanted by the FBI, by the DEA, by security forces in 4 countries. And free. Somewhere out there. Probably with a new passport.
And Hezbollah?
Still operating at the triple frontier. The money laundering networks Pecci dismantled were rebuilt. The United States keeps pushing for extraditions. But the region remains one of the largest terrorist financing hubs outside the Middle East.
And Claudia
Aguilera raised their son alone. Marcelo Daniel Pecci. Born September 30th, 2022. She said in an interview, it was public knowledge where he would spend his honeymoon. It was a very innocent thing to do. But they found out the hard way that there is no rest when you face the kind of criminals Marcelo faced.
Share this video with someone who needs to know what happens when you get in the way of the wrong people, and what Pecci discovered about Hezbollah in South America, the documents, the names, the networks, is still sitting in Paraguay's Prosecutor Files, waiting for the next prosecutor brave enough to pick up where he left off.
Marcelo Pecci was killed on the happiest day of his life, the day he found out he was going to be a father, on a Caribbean paradise, by men who arrived on a jet ski, and left like nothing had happened.
His son will never know his father.
No. But he'll grow up knowing his father was the prosecutor who scared organized crime in South America more than anyone in decades, who arrested Hezbollah financiers, who investigated the Primero Comando de Capital, who got close to Marset, and paid for it with his life.
Marset is still free.
Still free.
Clyde. In 1973, a democratically elected government was brought down in a single day. Fighter jets bombed the presidential palace. The president was found dead. The government said it was suicide. 40 years later, science said something different.
And a team of international scientists to prove the CIA helped kill him. Next file, the CIA helped kill a president. It took 40 years to prove it. SATC Files number 007 inch.